Hi guys, I'm doing a video to show what I'm going to do when I get to this point. I'm seeing a lot of people posting, 10 stitch, it takes quite a few tries until you finally, it just clicks and you get it. But I wanted, since I'm at this point on this particular blanket that I'm doing, which I want to say that this is probably my fifth or sixth, I don't know how, 10 stitch blanket. Now, this is not actually a 10 stitch blanket. It's an 8 stitch blanket. It's on the zippy and there's two sets. You just can't see it's out of frame. But it's the same concept. So right now, this particular stitch right, oh, you can't see this particular stitch right here. And I'm also using 2 strands on the zippy blanket, but we're going to treat it as if it's one. So if you could try and just pretend that each set of 2 is just one piece of yarn. But anyways, that this piece that I just picked up would be my corner piece right here on that corner. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit back. I'm knitting this way, and when I get to this point, I'm going to start with corner part 1. So this is the original version of the 10 stitch blanket on the loom. I know there's a revised edition, but this is the first one I learned, and it's just my preferred one. So, there are videos out there on how to do the original one because that's how I learned. And I don't know anything about the revised edition, so if you ask me questions, I don't know because I don't do that version. I know it's kind of hard to see. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead, I know my arm's in the way, I'm going to try and do this so that you can see. So here I am at this last peg right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit this last peg. So you're always going to, on this last one, I'm going to also, after I'm done with corner part 1 and part 2, I'm also going to show you how to do along the edges, and what piece that you're going to pick up, and how, I'm hoping that this is going to help. Okay, so because I already did a corner, I'm not going to put another piece on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purl back. And I'm sorry about the angle, just, it's the best angle I could get so that you could see it clearly. So okay, down to the second to last peg. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, U-wrap knit this. And then what I'm going to do to start corner part 1 is you're going to lift this. Gosh, I wish there was a better way to do this. Okay. So you lift this piece off, and you're going to take, I'm going to take this off so that I don't lose it. You're going to take this, oops, you're going to gosh darn it. Okay, you're going to take this piece right here and you're going to wrap it around that last peg and you're going to put that stitch back. And then you're going to start and purl this one. Let's see if I can. There's a better, oops, better angle. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing this video, so I just, I don't know if I should be able to see. Oh, what happened here? This is supposed to be there. Oops. Did I skip a peg accidentally here? Go back. I sure did. That's a much better angle, I think, I hope. Okay, and now I'm going to take this right here, the second to last one, because I already did this one. So I'm going to take this off, wrap this around, and put that back on. I'm going to go back and purl. And I'm going to continue to do that until I get to, I've wrapped all the pegs except for this last one. And, you know, I'm just doing this on my phone. I'm not technology savvy, so I don't know, you know, I don't have a laptop or a computer, so, and I don't have anything fancy on my phone. So at this point, you know, maybe you might want to just fast forward until I'm done. Or we could just do this together. So I'm to the third from the last. I'm going to take this off, wrap this around, and put that back on. And when you wrap the peg, like I just wrapped this one, you wrap the peg, you don't ever knit that one or purl that one. You just wrap it and then go to the next one. blanket's heavy, so it keeps sliding down. And normally I would have this on my lap and kind of wrapped up so that it wouldn't be hanging down like that, but then you wouldn't be able to see, so. Now I find that if you're going to learn how to do this type of blanket that sometimes it's easier to learn on the zippy because the pegs are bigger. You're going to be using, you know, more of a chunky yarn. But it's the same concept. Okay, so I'm getting here to the end. I just wrapped this one. I just took this stitch off and wrapped this around. I know it was a little tangled. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purl this one. And at this point, I'm going to start with corner part 2. Now, I don't quite remember, you know, if you're supposed to knit and purl this, but I don't. I just, at this point, once I wrap this one, and then I come back, I start on corner part 2, because I just find that if I add on a knit and a purl here, just by itself, I tend to get an extra ridge that doesn't lay flat on the blanket. But I don't remember exactly what the original, you know, pattern said that you were supposed to do. Because now I'm just doing it from memory. So I'm going to knit this one, knit this one, and then go back. And with every time that I knit back, I'm adding on a peg, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to knit this one, knit this one, knit this one. See how it's the double, the wrapping. And then I'm going to go back. And I'm going to continue to do that until I get all the pegs done. right, down to the last one. Okay, that's the last one. And so whenever I get to the, well, I'll go ahead and knit that one. Whenever I get to the end of my rows, I always pick up the ridge. That's just what I do. I don't wait to come back to do it, but you know, whatever method works for you. Okay, so this is now where I am going to see if I can show you. Let's see if I can get it closer. It's really close. Okay. It's hard to do. Okay, so this part right here, oops, right here, what you want to try and find is, it'll probably be too difficult to show you on this one, but so I'm going to go down a little bit, but then I'll show you which one I pick up. So you're going to have, and I know it's really hard to see because of the yellow, and you know, like I said, I would have picked a different color if I knew I was doing a video. But you're going to have 2 bumps. And one bump kind of, if you pull it, pulls towards the back, if you can see that line right there, you know, but that's not the one. The one that to make, I'm going to show you in a minute, but the one that I pick up would be the one that pulls from the front of the blanket. So let's see if, of course the light's not helping. Let me see if I can show you on a different stitch. Okay, so this is on this side. Let's see. Oh no, I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna try and, okay, so, let's see if I can get everything so that you can see, you know, you see the corner. Oh, hopefully you can see it. So the bump that you're going to pick up is going to be, because there's 2 ridges here. You've got this one that's going towards, I want to say, the length of the blanket where your line is. That's the one you're going to want to pick up. So one of the tricks that I have is this one right here will curl around the edge. You see how it curls around? That's not the one you want to pick up. The one you want to pick up is the one right here. This one. That see how it like goes towards? That's the one you're going to want to pick up. Now, in the beginning, when I first started learning how to do this, I always put something to indicate where the corner is. So, for instance, you know, on this edge here, you can see where my corner is, my corner piece. So that way I know that I am going to, that's the very last one that I'm going to pick up before I start doing corner part 1 and corner part 2. So once you do that, you have this is going to be your first bump that you're going to pick up. So what I'm going to do is, you see this one right here? That's the one I'm going to pick up. So let me see if I can get it so that you guys can see. And I'll do a couple rows, and hopefully you guys will be able to see, you know, what I'm doing. You know, trying to do this so that you guys can see, but I'm certainly, well, not an expert. Obviously, as I'm trying to like balance this phone on my lap. So what I'm going to do is, and the reason that I pick up that one is so that you get this nice, whoops, balance. You get this nice line here, the line, this right here, so that it makes a nice, at least that's what I like. I like the braided kind of look. And that's why I pick up that piece. If you pick up the other piece, it doesn't give you that nice braided kind of look. So I always kind of pull it out. So like I said, I mean, it's easier to see it down here. This is the one I'm picking up right here. But I'll show you. So I kind of just pull it out and then I put it on here. And of course, you know, for most of you, you're not going to be using 2 pieces of yarn. So you'll only be picking up 1. But as you see, I'm using 2 yarns as 1 because I'm trying to, excuse me, make a chunky blanket. So you never do, once you start picking up the ridges, you never purl this one. You only knit it, but you never purl it. I also want to note, in case other people do this, I'm at the end of this particular one and I had already joined it. You know, a lot of people talk about the magic join, the Russian join, the braided join, and you know, they're all good, but for me, I knot it because, and I weave it in because it gives me a sense of security when I know that it is super duper double knotted tight. Oh, it's not double knotted. What I do is, you know, I take the piece, just like when you first start, that type of knot that you do, that's the one I do. It gives me a sense of security. I know it's not as pretty. I don't find that I really feel the knot that much in the blankets that I make. But, you know, each of their own. So I guess I'm only mentioning that because, you know, if that's the kind you like, then that's the kind you should use. I've been making I've loom knitted a lot of items, and I still to this day feel more secure using that type and having a knot than doing the other joins. But that's just, you know, makes me feel better. So kind of like, okay, so I'm here at the end, and what you're going to do is you treat this as if it's 1. So here's my yarn. I'm going to wrap it around and I'm going to knit it off. And like I said before, you know, I always, when I get to the end, I always put the piece the next one on. So as you can see, you've got 2 bumps here. You've got this bump and this bump. If I can separate them. You've got this bump and this bump and this. I want you to be able to see. So that's the other bump I just pointed out. This is the one I'm pulling on is the one that I'm going to put on here. So again, that's 1 bump and that's the other bump. Let's see if I can pull it out so that you can see. This is the bump you want to use. So sometimes when I'm not sure, I look at which way it's pulling. And if it's pulling towards the direction of the blanket, because if you look, we're going down this row here. We're going down this row right here. So the one that's the bump that's going this way is the one that I'm going to pull out. So make sure that you can see. So see? And I just, you know, I take my finger, and I know that now you can't see, but I take my finger and I pull, and I pull, and I push until I get it on here. And don't worry about stretching it out, because when it goes onto the blanket here, you can see it leaves a nice line. It connects, and you just have that line that just, once you do your own blanket, you'll see, it's kind of hard to see on this video, but you'll see as you keep going around and around, if you have that one bump that you're putting on, the garter stitch will line up. So hopefully that helped. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to message me, and I'll try to answer them the best I can by pictures or another video. But hopefully this was helpful. And again, you know, this is the original method. Once you put that bump on, you're not going to purl it. You only knit this last one. All right, thanks for watching.